Good afternoon, folks. I still have people joining, so I'm gonna give it just a second to do it. Here's the list. All right. Before I get into lecture, there are some people who are late with assignments. These have got to be turned in. For every day that you're late, that's a grade. That's a letter grade. These have got to be turned in. I have extended sometimes because some people are having issue with books. I know who you are. You're taken care of. If you have not let me know that your book has not arrived, and a lot of you have already told me I've already received my books, yeah, you in the doghouse. So I need these things in this semester. Every summer semester runs extremely quick, folks. All right, it's very intensive. So that being said, we're jumping right in. Get back up here to the top. All right, talking about web pages. All right, web page designs. Half of this chapter is not going to be relevant. Reason why is because it's talking about CSS and HTML. Two languages and things that nobody uses any longer. People don't use HTML. They're scripting in Java. They're scripting in Python. Nobody uses HTML. Nobody uses cascading style sheets anymore. I was discussing this with Dr. McGrail this morning, and the next time we teach this class, this book will have to be updated, and it may go away completely, and we just send you PDFs to go by. So there's a possibility that this class may not have a book. You know, very similar to my audio class. Because my audio class, I don't use a book. There's nothing that in that book that can teach you about audio that I cannot. And if I can save you money, I'm going to. So, that being said, basic online journalism designs. What you're looking for is a good aesthetic, a good layout, easy to navigate, so that way people will be attracted to your site. You don't want it clunky. You don't want a story over here, a story over here, one down here, one over here, one over here, one over here. You want it to be seamless. All right. And the way you do that is with layout grids. Designers call the basic layout structure of a page, whether it's to be printed or a web page, the grid. All right. It's a pattern of lines and boxes. Everybody knows what a grid is. All right. The grid is the grid of most online journalism sites resembles a general layout of the front page of a newspaper. You look at a newspaper, headline, big photo, big story, small story on the other side. That is the above the fold. Everybody knows what above the fold is, correct? That is where the paper actually folds. Above the fold is the front. Below the fold is the back side of it. It's so you can see it better. All right. So links to other sections should either be in the left or right hand top of your page. Point in case. Let me get back over here to this screen, and we're going to go share screen. We're going off grid. And Chrome tab. And you're actually going to get to see what you're going to be building this semester. There we go. So now, let me go back. This is the home page of my personal website. All right. Big name, right up underneath it, you'll see all of the job titles that I hold: adjunct professor, audio engineer, lighting engineer, audio producer. There is a major difference between an audio producer and an audio engineer. An audio engineer produces live sound. When you go to a concert, that is an audio engineer. An audio producer is studio sound. When you're recording an album, that is your job. Graphic design, author, and photographer. Yes, I have written a book, as frightening as that sounds. Underneath that, you'll see touring audio engineer, touring photographer, touring lighting engineer, production engineer, tour manager, front of the house sound engineer, monitor engineer. These are all on the road job titles that I have held. As my contact information, even though my phone number is wrong, I've gotten a new number, so don't pay attention to that. I did not upgrade it. I did not update my website yet because of you guys seeing it, because I ain't giving out my personal cell number. Sorry. So we'll go back up. Experience. We click it. Page transitions. Photo stays. Header stays. That way you have continuity between the pages. Got Jacksonville State University listed with the classes that I have taught thus far. Rock 1059 over in Gadsden. Live remote talent. I conduct live remotes at sponsored locations for advertising. The Still live music venue, Gadsden. Sound and lighting engineer. Roadrunner Records. I was a tour photographer for Roadrunner for 2.5, almost 3 years. And I was on the road with Motionless in White, Hailstorm, In This Moment, Shinedown, Bad Wolves, and Asking Alexandria. Egyptian Nights Media. I own this company. Handle graphic design, audio engineering, video production for artist interviews, and production of the following radio shows, podcasts, and magazines: The Nightstand, House of Brimstone, America, Pop-Up Podcast, Ritual, the Midweek Metal Fest, Rings, Ropes, and Singlets, the Roundtable of Kinsmen, Skull Crusher, the podcast, Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, EMP Magazine, Side Stage, Unseen Magazine, Get Plugged In Magazine. I work with all of those magazines as well. Portfolio. This is going to show you my actual work. Again, top part of the page stays for continuity. Tour photography. All of these photos are photos that I have taken, whether they be during a live event like that one, or whether they be staged for promotional use. Some of the photos were at live events, others were staged for promos. That's Asking Alexandria, by the way. I don't know if y'all listen to my music or not. Here are interviews that I have done. This is some of my more recent ones. Matt James, Blacktop Mojo, Freddie Herrera from Everclear, Andrew Davis of Them Dirty Roses, Joyous Wolf, Gary Cargill, Bobby Keller. And this is some articles that were featured about me. The one on the left right here was in the Chanticleer when I took over as program director. The one on the right, it just says Metal Insider. The reason why is it links to their page. And it's a spotlight interview that was done on the radio station and myself by Metal Insider. So, close that. Go back to him. Contact. It's the last page. Has all my contact information. Again, phone numbers are not correct. I have not updated this yet. But you'll notice down at the bottom, BillyPharaohRamsey.com. You are not going to be required to purchase a domain name. I'm not going to make you buy TerryDavis.com or BrandonBrown.com. You can, but you do not have to. But this is what your website will look like when we're done. All right. Now, another aspect that's carried over from newspapers are page dimensions. All right. You notice how that top part of my website does not change. You keep that for continuity, so that way people will know. It's estimated now that more than 80% of computer users have at least 1024 by 768 pixels of resolution. This is incorrect. Let me minimize this just a moment, and I will tell you exactly what my settings are on my computer right now. I hate Windows 10. Display settings. There we go. Right now, I am at 1920 by 1080. Anybody pick up on a something that sounds familiar on that? 1920 by 1080. I'm gonna unmute you so y'all can answer. Anything sound familiar about that?
Not that I know of.
Nope.
You don't know what 1080 is?
Say it again.
1080.
Nah, I don't know what that is.
High definition.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because I know on YouTube videos, like when you go to the settings icon, it displays like all of the different types of resolutions that are on there. Because there's 720, and I think 1080 is the highest one.
720 is considered high definition, but 1080 is true high definition. You can get a 720 is like the go-between between standard def and high def. Standard definition is 480 pixels. High definition is 1080. But in between the two is 720. All right. That's like, all right, 1080 is high definition. But 4K is 4,260, I think it is. Somewhere around in there. That's 4K. And I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with one in between of a little over 2,000. Probably be like 2160. Because if you'll notice, everything can be devised down by 4.
Okay.
480, 720, 1080. Everything's divisible by 4. So let me get back over to my notes. That is not true anymore. Everybody, like I said, this book is a little bit old, so I'm going to be going off book for this part of it quite a bit. Usability. What's the point of having a website if it's not user friendly? All right, you've got to be able to navigate it pretty simply. That's why you notice on mine, it's pretty straightforward. Everything clicks right through. I'm going to go back to screen share one more time and show you. Where is it? There it is. All right. So right here, you see my contact information. But if you keep scrolling, this right here, all they have to do is put their name, email address, and a message in, and it sends me a message directly. Now, you see right here where it says the site was designed with Wix. You can eliminate that by paying a little bit of money. You are not required for this class. You're going to use the basic concept of Wix for this class, because Wix will allow you to design your web page to where it's easy to use, easy to maneuver, and I mean basically until you get to your portfolio, everything's pretty much straightforward in text. Now your portfolio, if you have photography, you can upload your pictures. If you have video, you can either upload them, or what I did here is I linked everything to my Facebook page. Because you'll notice up in the top left corner of each video, everything is linked to the pop-up podcast page. If you have articles that you have written for the Chanticleer, you can include links to those articles. I would not suggest putting the full article up unless it's short like this one is. All right. It wasn't a big piece, but it just introduced me as the program director. And you'll notice right there how it still says 92J. Remember, we got rid of that because I was the one that got rid of it. But your website should be neat. It should be clean. You don't have to use a black background. You can use a white background. I would not suggest using red, green, blue, no colors other than black, white, or gray. Anybody know why?
Because black, white, and gray are the three easiest colors for you to see on the website.
Exactly. I personally like a black background because it tends to make photos and graphics pop a lot more. They look cleaner on a black background. White has a tendency to... All right, do you guys know the difference between a JPEG photo and a PNG? If you don't know the difference, speak up so that way I can explain it to you.
I think I know the difference.
You said JPG?
A JPEG or a PNG?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
All right, a JPEG, when you use a JPEG image, It's going to be a lower quality image. If you use a PNG, it's going to be a crisper, better quality image. A JPEG, what it does is if you try to expand a JPEG, it is going to pixelate because it's going to keep the same resolution that you have saved it as. A PNG, it's still going to keep the same resolution, but it's going to give you a cleaner outline of it. Also, a JPEG always has to have a background. It cannot have negative space. A PNG can go without a background. That you see right there on my screen that says Billy S. Ramsey, and then the Pharaoh is in red and it goes up. The big header right there. That right there. Let me get back over here to my page. This right here that you see. This is not text. This is actually an image that I created. Now, had I done it as a JPEG, where the red and the white intersect, there would be some bleed through. But because I use a PNG, it's nice and crisp in between the two. It doesn't mesh your colors. PNGs are much better quality for you to use. All right. So, in a nutshell, usability speaks to two related questions for the user. Where am I and where can I go? And I would actually throw a third one in that says, what does this site mean for me? All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, most people in the past have taught this class to where you're actually going to create a blog site website. I changed it. I want you guys to have a digital resume at your disposal for when you graduate. And this website you need to keep and keep adding to it as you go through college, as you do more interviews, as you write more articles, add them to this page. Because what it'll do is it'll keep everything together for you. And then once you graduate and you're ready to go for a job, let's say you kept this website and then you bought that domain name that says brandonbrown.com or terrydavis.com. Then you have a business card printed up. You go to your interview. You have a physical copy of your resume that has this right here on there. I gotta mute y'all because somebody's making a lot of noise. But you have a physical copy that has all of this on here that you're given to them. But then at the same time, you give them your business card, and on your business card, it has your URL. Because there's no way to give them copies of all of your photos. There's no way to give them copies of your interviews. And you can tell them, here is my resume. And on my card, you'll notice the URL, terrydavis.com. You can go there and see some of my interviews that I have done, some photography that I've done, and a few articles that I wrote while I was in college. So that way you can have more to give and to present and to put yourself in a better light for getting the job. I mean, that's the bottom line of why we're all here, right? You're in school to get an education, to get a job, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I kind of tricked you there. I don't want you to get a job when you graduate. I want you to start your career when you graduate. There's a difference between a job and a career. I've had a ton of jobs. This is my second career. I had a career as an executive chef. I've had a career as a professor. But I've had jobs that I didn't like too much. And I don't want you guys to have jobs. I want you to have careers. Because a wise man once told me a long, long time ago that if you find your passion and you make it into your career, you'll never work a day in your life. This right here does not feel like work to me. It doesn't, because I enjoy what I do, especially when I'm teaching audio. If you've had my audio production class, you'll know exactly what I mean. I kind of wish Grace was here because she could explain it to you, because Grace has gone through my audio class. And yeah, I love what I do. And when you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Now, with smartphones coming out now, and you can surf the web with smartphones, you have to be able to design your website to accommodate smartphones. With Wix, you will be able to do this. I'm going to open up another tab real quick and show you just what I'm talking about. And we'll get into how you guys are going to see this. We're going to go back to StreamYard and share the screen. Chrome tab. Editor. All right, let's go dashboard first. All right, when you first open it up, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see your dashboard. And it's going to tell you all the different sites that you have. And you can create all sorts of things here. Now, marketing and SEO. This is extremely important. SEO is search engine options. You can boost your site's SEO and get found on Google. All right. This thing is amazing, everything that it offers. And once you get into it, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. It'll help you with creating videos. It'll help you with marketing. It'll help you get found on Google. You can set up different automation responses. You can create your own logo. I mean, it's very, very good. So you hit edit site and it takes you to your site where you edit. But right up here, you'll see desktop. Edit your site for desktop. Switch to mobile. When you switch to mobile, it's going to put it up just like you were on a cell phone. And you're going to redo your layout. When you do it here, it does not affect your desktop site. The mobile site brings everything in automatically, and you just have to fix your arrangement of everything. And you'll go through it the exact same way. There's all of the different pages. You go to experience, there's my resume right up underneath it. You go to portfolio, and there's everything again. My artist interviews. And then the contact page. Now, to get things on your pages, let's go back to the home page. Now, this photo is on every single page. So when we right click on the photo, you can change it, design all of your options here. Down here towards the bottom, we'll have to scroll down. Well, it ain't showing me. Hang on. Come on. There we go. Settings. There's my, you can set it up to where you can link something in here. I don't have a link on it. What does it link to? That's the image name. Keep proportions. You want to make sure when you're working with images, you want to keep your proportions. That way, if you stretch this out, see how it stretches out evenly? Because if we didn't do that, settings, let's take the proportions off. I'm fixing to make myself look really weird here. Because if I stretch it now, I have to move it both ways to keep the image square. But you want to make sure and keep your proportions so that way you don't skew any of your imagery. All right. Now up here, you can change the image. There's your settings, your design, your crop. So if you put a picture up and it needs to be cropped, you can do it in your editor. You can add filters to it. You can add animation to it. And what it means by animation is how it comes onto the page. Arc in, pull in. So you can have different ways to do it. For this, I would not suggest doing any of this because it's a professional site. Now, if you were building one for, say, the radio station or the Chanticleer or something like that, yeah, you can have some fun with it. And that's where you add your links. Now, show on all pages. This is how we keep this on all of our pages, and it doesn't move. When you change pages, it's going to keep it right there. By doing that, again, it's continuity. All right. There we go. Any questions so far?
No,
I'm
sir.
good.
I'm good, sir.
Anna, you good?
Yes.
Okay. I know you come in a little bit late, but you can watch the beginning of it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
All right. So, moving on. I was talking about your consistency, your flow of your website. All right. You have to use ergonomics. And this is how people interact with machines. How easy is it for your website to be maneuvered? Okay. Now, the basic online journalism layout grid, like I said, it's from print. It's going to be basic visual aesthetics. That way, it's easy to follow. So you want to definitely have the unity, I just completely lost my word. The consistency throughout all of your pages. You don't want your home page to be white, your one page to be red, one to be gray, one to be black. You have to be consistent. You want contrast. Although the overall effect of the page should demonstrate unity, different elements within each page should be easily distinguishable. I've got experience on one page. I've got a portfolio on another page. All right. This is crucial to making the page easy to use. And your potential employer, it makes it easy for them to find everything. All right. Page hierarchy. All right. Hierarchy is what's important. Goes to the top. First thing, out the gate, home page. On mine, my home page is a general overview of what I can do. Adjunct professor, audio engineer, lighting engineer, graphic design, author, photographer. Then it gets into more detailed with touring audio engineer, touring photographer, because not only do I do studio work, but I also do touring work. Two completely different animals, because studio photography, concert photography, completely different. Studio photography, you have control over subject matter, you have control over lighting, you have control over environment. Concert photography, you ain't got control over anything. I shoot probably 5 to 6 times more photos in a concert setting than I do in a studio setting. The last promo shoot that I did with the band Fozzy, I shot a total of 39 photos. That's it. The last concert that I shot, who was the last concert I shot? Well, Judas Priest, I shot 1,600 pictures. Bad Wolves, I shot 1,100 pictures. Five Finger Death Punch, I shot right at 1,200. Nothing More, I shot 2,700, but I had the entire set to deal with. Now, these numbers I'm giving you, that is in 3 songs, because concert photography, you only get the first 3 songs, and sometimes 2, in the photo pit, and that's it. And then you're ushered out. But for the most part, you get 3, and it's a rarity. Nothing more, because I've done work with them in the past and everything, I was allowed to stay in the pit for the entire set. Now, I moved to the center during the first 3 songs and got a lot of my shots. But then after the 3rd song, I went to the outside and stayed on the outside because I didn't want to interfere with any of the people watching the show. You know, being courteous like that wins a lot of people over. It's the old saying, you catch a lot more flies with a spoonful of honey than you do a cup full of vinegar. Now, your hierarchy, like I said, put the important stuff on the front page. You want to catch their attention. Then you go into detail into your other pages. And I've said it time and time and time again, and I'll keep saying it, consistency. You have to have consistency. Now, using text, despite the web's capability for delivering multimedia with sound, visuals, words still remain an important element of online communication, but they are still very, very difficult to use because people like to try and use fancy looking fonts. The best font that I have found is called Georgia. It looks very similar to Times New Roman. It's neat, it's clean, and it's easy to read. Now, you have 4 types of fonts. You've got serif, sans serif, novelty, and monospace. Serif fonts have small protrusions called serifs on the tips of each letter. Sans serifs do not have these protrusions. Okay, they've got serif fonts have sharp edges. Sans serifs do not. They're more rounded. Novelty fonts, that's where you get into your wingdings and your fancy looking fonts. Monospace fonts can be serif, sans serif, or novelty, but they're designed so that every letter or character occupies the equal amount of horizontal space. All right, so if you've got an A right here and an I right here, then both of those are absolutely the same horizontally. Whereas if you have a Times New Roman A right here and an I right here, it's going to differ. And I will go ahead and tell you, you need to remember these 4 terms for your final, because I will ask you about these on the final. Guarantee you. There are some that are called proportional fonts, such as the Times New Roman, giving space to each letter based on the actual letter's width. Like I said, an A could be this wide and an I could be this wide. So, serif have sharp edges. Sans serif do not have sharp edges. I don't recognize that number, so they're not getting answered. Novelty and monospace. Remember these 4 terms. Now, there's 4 main types of text alignment. Flush left. Well, I got to do this backwards. Flush left, flush right, centered, and justified. And they mean exactly what they're called. Flush left, all the way to the left. Flush right, all the way to the right. Centered, right in the middle. Justified is going to be the one that may throw you off. Justified alignment I just lost my space. Justified alignment, although one of the more popular alignments, is not used that often on the web. In order for both the left and right margins to line up, justified text contains small extra spaces between words and letters, so that way it blocks out. You ever noticed how in some news articles you might have 6 words in one line and then the next line only has 3, but the number of characters are the exact same, so that they're looking at space, so they have to make it even in between. I hope that makes sense. If it does not, I'm gonna jump back over to my video screen right quick. If it don't, pop on camera, cut your mic on, say, hey, I don't understand what the hell you're talking about. Everybody understands it. That's on. Give me a thumbs up, Terry. There you go. I was waiting for it. Miss Beltran, do you understand it?
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. I just noticed you cut your mic on, so I was making sure. All right. Another thing you got to consider is line length, the horizontal length of your text lines. If you make them too short, it can create the ping pong effect to where you're like ding, 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 ding. And if you make it too long, they're like, oh, where did I lose? And they can lose themselves. So you have to be about in the middle. And again, that's going to be a judgment call up to you. All right. Colors and graphics. Like I said, background page color, black, white, gray. Don't use anything in between. And me personally, I like black backgrounds. It makes your stuff pop so much better. You may want to consider using a little bit of color. You'll notice that where I've got my name in white, it's got the Pharaoh in red to create a little bit of pop to it. Splashes of bold color might be in a logo or a nameplate like I did. But usually journalistic web pages are free of splashy color. For yours, they need to be free as well. You can do it in your header, but you'll notice throughout mine, and I'll put the link to mine in here as well. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now because this is not really a we'll do this. Edit. There we go. There you go. Now, y'all can jot this down so that way you can go and look at my site. But you'll notice my primary text is all either black or white or gray. There's very little color. And again, this goes to what kind of career you're going into. If you're going into a career in news, in journalism, then yes, you need to be straightforward, straight edge, to the point. If you're going into the field of radio or news, as in TV, you can put a little, not much. If you're going into a field where you are going to be doing a lot of marketing, and you're trying to get, you can, it, like I said, and you're trying to get people's attention, then yes, you can use a little more splashy color. But like I said, it depends on what field you're going into. If you need help determining that, you can reach out to me via email. All right. When properly used, color can play an important role in creating attractive page designs. Unfortunately, many non-artists have difficulty choosing sets of colors that complement each other. I have seen it. I couldn't tell you how many times people have put a black background and put yellow on top of it. No, never. Don't do it. That is one of the hardest things on the eyes is yellow on black. The only thing harder than that is yellow on white. Why anybody would do that, I don't know. They've lost their minds. Fortunately, there are places that have predetermined color schemes. When you go to build your site, let's see. Let's go back. Give me 1 sec because I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. Okay, let me get back on StreamYard and go back to share screen, Chrome tab. I think it's this one. Yep. All right. I'm going to show you how to basically start. Once you sign up in Wix, you'll see me logged in right here. You're going to click Create New Site. Boom. What kind of website do you want to create? Duh. Portfolio and CV. See this right here? Let Wix ADI create a website for you. Do not do this. If you do this, I will know. And this will highly affect your grade because you don't want them to build it for you. You're going to build it yourself. So you're going to go choose a template and check it out.
I think your screen is frozen.
Uh-oh. It looks like it.
At least it is over here.
Ah, it didn't switch for me. That's why. Thank you.
No problem.
So let's swap screens. It opened a new tab as why.
I got you.
There you go. Now you see all of the templates that you can choose from. And there are a lot of them. So we're going to go to this one and see how it does. And I bet it did. Miss Beltran, did it go to the website, Rachel Smith? Nope. So let's change pages again.
No, sir.
It keeps opening up new tabs, and every time it opens a new tab, I have to change. Okay. Now, this is a nice looking website, and you can use a template like this. And all you got to do is check this out. Edit this site, and I'll have to change it again. When you click edit this site right up there in the top right, then it gives you the layout. and you can just go in, put in all of your information there. Change the picture. You would not believe how many people I have seen use stock images on templates like this. All right. Change the social. Huh?
So we are allowed to use a template as long as we modify the information, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I want this thing to look slick. See how it's got the social bar right here at the bottom? Make sure, set social links, set up your links to where it matches your information. If you've got a social bar on your website, I am going to check and make sure it goes to your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, all of them. And right here, this one here only has one page. Everything's on the front page. Make sure you change your bars up here. And say, hello, I am Rachel. I am a paragraph. Click here to add your own text and edit me. See, they didn't put stuff in here. So you got to put your own content in. There's
I'm gonna start working on these this week.
no, you don't have to this week.
Oh, okay.
We officially start, you can, but we officially start working on them June 1st, next Monday.
Gotcha.
You can start working on them, but you also have assignments for chapters 7, 8, and 9 that are going to be coming up due.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your last assignments.
Gotcha.
All right. Here is her resume. There's her education. There's some clients she's worked with. Here's her skills. But you see how deep into the page we're having to go to get into all of this. If you use this one, I expect you to change this up. Don't put everything on the front page. Create your pages right up here in the top. Manage pages. And you just add in your pages. Now her tabs right here, when you click it, it automatically scrolls to it. I don't want you doing, this is what is called a front load design. It's a single page and you create tabs within the page to drop you down to it. This is not what we want. I want individual pages. All right. Last thing, down here on the bottom, see how it says copyright 2023 by Rachel Smith, proudly owned, created with Wix.com. You need to change this to 2023 or 2020 by your name. Your website was created by you. You own the copyright to it. Because see, this is what I don't like. This is why I don't like front end loaded pages. See, when you scroll, see her links right here, how it stays right there. Even when you scroll, they stay right there. So you get overlay. And that looks very unprofessional to me. Nothing should be overlaid. This right here should stay right there. And you click education and it goes to another page that has your education on. You click clients and it's got your client list. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. We're all on the same page. Okay. Back to it. Graphic design elements. I'm not expecting you guys to be graphic designers. It's not what you went to school for. All right. Only reason why I know how to do it, I'm an artist. I've been drawing since I was a child, and I've cultivated that talent over the years. And those of you who've been in my office, you've seen some of my work on my walls. You know I've got talent. I don't expect you guys to be graphic designers. If you've got a little logo that you want to use, like say Terry may do something real quick like this. And it's just Terry Davis. Something that simple. But it could set you apart. Again, eye appeal. That's one thing that we, when I was an executive chef, because people eat with their eyes. All right, your assignment for Chapter 7. Analyze one of your favorite online journalism sites in terms of unity, contrast, hierarchy, and consistency. How and how well does it follow these principles? And just to give you an idea, let's see. Oh, I need to kill some of these tabs. I'm going to show you a site that I have a love-hate relationship with. And some of you may laugh when you see it. Fox News. Do you know why I hate this website? This is one of the most god-awful websites to navigate. Because, I mean, look at all this mess. You got an advertisement right here. We've got to have ads, right? Got to drive money. Got to get business. All of the tabs across the top. Very nice. I like those. Hot topics. Coronavirus. Of course, everybody's talking about coronavirus. Joe Biden. China. There's your market. Speaking of, I need to check my stocks. But when you scroll down, you've got clips on the left. You've got a large one in the middle. Then you got two small ones here. You got an ad over here. It's very clunky. And it's very, very, it's a pain in the butt to deal with, because now after we scroll past the ads, you got more articles on the right. So it can be extremely clunky trying to move it around. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. And don't worry, CNN is just as bad. I like things smooth, streamlined.
Does it have to be a news site?
What you email me what you're thinking,
Okay.
and I'll let you know. All right.
Okay, I'll do that.
Any questions?
No, sir. I'm good.
Comments, concerns?
If we had any ideas for what we want to do with our site, could we just email them to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is our site not supposed to be a portfolio of ours? Are we not doing what you did?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Everybody else was acting like they were gonna make a different website. I was just checking.
Do what?
I don't know. I thought everybody else was asking about making different websites, and I was like, "Whoa, did I misunderstand that?" But never mind.
No, it is a digital resume of your work.
Gotcha.
Now, Billy, I do have one more question.
Okay.
So, how we're creating this digital website on Wix, we can add on and edit, as we go along the way, right?
You talking about after the class?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I want you to. I mean, I want to give you the platform to start with, but I'd like to see you guys keep doing this throughout your college career, and even after you go to work somewhere. You can keep adding on to it and keep building it and go from one position to another and use this to help you get those positions.
Okay.
Sound like a game plan?
Sounds like a game plan.
All right. Well, if no one else has any more questions, I am going to lunch. All right. So we're all good?
Yes,
We're all
sir.
good.
All right. If you have questions, like I said before, be sure you email me so that way you can find out. And I've been on top of my emails. So. All
Yes,
right,
you
folks. Everybody have a good day
You too.
and get on them assignments.
Yes, sir.
All right.